On a quiet and chilly Saturday night, just weeks after the divorce papers were finalized, I found myself grappling with the sudden halt of a life that had unfolded over more than 20 years of marriage. The stillness that enveloped my once vibrant home was a stark reminder of the weekends that had been brimming with laughter and cherished family traditions. One cherished ritual was our weekly sojourn to the bathhouse, a humble yet treasured sanctuary where my husband's son, Logan, and I could unwind and rekindle our bond amidst the enveloping warmth and steam. Following the divorce, Logan was adamant that we should hold the ceremony together, just the two of us. Initially, I found myself in opposition. It felt strange, almost melancholic, to uphold a tradition so deeply woven into the fabric of our now fractured family. Yet, it was Logan's unwavering determination that ultimately captured my admiration. "Oh, come on, Mom." He projected his voice, both airy and commanding. "We need not surrender to the tide of change in every aspect." As dusk settled, I acquiesced to the inevitable and gathered our possessions before departing. The bathhouse lay in serene silence, as it does each winter, the atmosphere thick with the soothing scent of cedarwood mingling with the gentle embrace of steam. Upon entering, a comforting warmth enveloped me, a sensation I had long been deprived of, both in body and spirit, a soothing embrace shielding me from the harsh chill of the outside world. At the age of 22, Logan had undergone remarkable development throughout the years. He had shed the innocence of youth, no longer the small child who once splashed joyfully in the little pool, creating waves of delight. He exuded a calm confidence, standing tall with broad shoulders, embodying a maturity that was both striking and composed. Yet, the soft familiarity in his gaze exuded a warmth that brought to mind the essence of his father. We settled into a private family steam room, enveloped in a warmth that felt inviting rather than oppressive. We enjoyed a tranquil moment, seated closely on the wooden bench, wrapped in towels and enveloped in gentle steam. Logan disrupted the tranquility with a gentle, "You appear improved." His tone carried a sense of hesitation, tinged with an air of apprehension. I cast him a surprised glance, improved since all that had transpired. For a fleeting moment, his gaze met mine before it shifted elsewhere. "It has been a challenging few months," he went on. As I inhaled deeply, the steam enveloped me, easing the tension in my shoulders. "I'm uncertain about what constitutes better," I admitted candidly. "Maybe it's simply about adapting." He inclined his head, and a gentle warmth spread across his features. "That is an addition," he made. For a moment, we lingered in thoughtful silence. The steady hiss of steam enveloped the room, soothing my thoughts. After weeks of turmoil, a flicker of serenity finally graced my spirit. Logan reclined against the wooden wall, and I found myself captivated by the depth of his growth, not just in stature, but in spirit as well. He had transformed into my unwavering anchor during the tumult of the divorce, offering steadfast support without a word of request. As the minutes slipped away, I became acutely aware of how deeply I treasure these moments shared with him. A world marked by turbulence and often unrelenting cruelty. Outside seemed a world away, and within this cozy sanctuary, it was merely the two of us, connected by a bond deeper than mere blood. "Do you recall the times you would plead to linger in the sauna for hours?" I asked. Shattering the silence with a subtle smile, Logan's laughter resonated. A deep, authentic melody that infused the space with warmth far beyond what any steam could offer. Indeed, my father would often pull me out after just 10 minutes, convinced that I had reached my limit. I let out a soft laugh, playfully nudging him, perhaps because he was unable to handle the pressure on his own. After months of silence, the conversation about my ex-husband no longer stung. For the next hour, we meandered between the steam room, the pool, and the lounge, lost in reflections of simpler times. I marveled at the effortless nature of my conversations with Logan, reflecting on how our friendship had steadily evolved through the passage of time. He was not my sole son. He served as both a confidant and a companion, guiding me through this peculiar and uncharted chapter of existence. As the evening drew to a close, we found ourselves nestled in a quiet corner of the lounge, sipping tea in contemplative silence. Logan extended his limbs, gently placing his palms against mine. "You'll be okay," he murmured softly, his voice steady and reassuring. I struggled to hold back tears, taken aback by the power of his words. "Is that your perspective?" I inquired. He spoke with unwavering assurance that we both shall. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, I found myself believing him. Our Saturday nights at the bathhouse transformed into a comforting ritual amid the tumult of the ensuing weeks. Every visit felt akin to a sacred ritual, a serene retreat from the chaotic realm beyond, where everything lay bare and uncertain. Our silences were not awkward. Instead, they brimmed with a profound, unvoiced connection. It was during one of those evenings, perhaps the third or fourth after the divorce, that I came to understand just how much I anticipated the moments spent with Logan. He offered not just relaxation, but also a profound sense of connection. His presence grounded me, providing a steadfast support in a life that often seemed unpredictable. As I entered the steam room that night, I spotted him there, his towel draped nonchalantly over his shoulders, awaiting my arrival. A newfound lightness enveloped him, a serene confidence that instilled in me, for the first time in ages, a belief that we would emerge unscathed. As I drew near, Logan's smile greeted me, and I couldn't help but return it instantly. The sight of him stirred a pleasant sensation within me, one that transcended the confines of the bathhouse. "You're late," he mocked, stepping aside to allow me entry. I cast a playful glance his way as I swept past him, my eyes rolling in mock exasperation. I declared, "I am the one who brings you to this place. If I happen to be late, the responsibility falls on both of you." He smiled softly in the wooden chamber as we settled onto the benches, enveloped by swirling steam that softened the room's edges. Logan reclined, his head finding solace against the wall. For a while, I simply observed him. I had encountered it previously. Yet, there was an essence to these evenings that intensified my perception of him. His shoulders commanded the space beside me, and his stance radiated a subtle strength. He radiated a calm assurance, a wisdom that seemed to transcend his years. "Is everything all right, Mom?" he asked, his voice cutting through my reverie. His compassionate eyes, brimming with the same tenderness that had guided me through countless trials, locked onto mine. I quickly acquiesced, brushing damp strands from my visage. "Naturally, I am merely contemplating. What is the essence of this matter?" he inquired. I responded with sincerity. "How deeply I cherish these nights spent with you, even before the thoughts could form. It is truly a pleasure to share this time in each other's company." He smiled openly and warmly, causing a tightness in my chest. "Indeed," he responded with a soft touch. "Indeed it is." The atmosphere surrounding us seemed to grow denser. The knot was uncomfortable, yet infused with an unarticulated essence, as though a truth lingered in the air, poised for revelation. Uncertainty clouded my interpretation, leaving me to wonder whether Logan was in accord. As we moved from the steam room to the plunge pool that evening, I observed subtle details. His eyes held on to me, a silent observation when he believed I was unaware. As he handed me a towel, his fingers brushed gently against my own. The connection lingered just a touch longer than anticipated. Despite my efforts to convince myself otherwise, it was merely a figment of my imagination. He was indeed my son. As I sought solace within myself, The notion that something between us was shifting loomed large, transforming into an enigma I struggled to grasp. As the next visit approached, I discovered a fresh sense of anticipation blossoming within me. Even though I tried to hide it, the sensation of serene excitement lingered within me. Logan seemed to perceive it too. As we stepped into the bathhouse, his feet seemed to dance with a newfound lightness, and his excitement radiated as he guided us toward our cherished steam room. As we settled in, enveloped by the comforting warmth, a profound sense of gratitude washed over me. Outside, the air was crisp and filled with an unsettling ambiguity, yet within our sanctuary, enveloped by the warmth of steam, all else faded into insignificance. That evening, our conversation flowed more freely than ever, seamlessly weaving together our past moments and aspirations for what lay ahead. Logan shared his aspirations and the goals he aims to achieve in his professional journey. His voice resonated with a subtle fervor, and his eyes sparkled with passion as he delved into the subjects that mattered most to him. I leaned in, captivated by his eloquence and the image he crafted of himself. "Your magnificence is undeniable. Are you aware of that?" I uttered my thoughts in a sudden burst, the phrases spilling forth before I could rein them in. Logan blinked, and a gentle warmth spread across his features. "Mother, I assure you this is serious," I interjected. I fail to express it as often as I should. "Logan, you truly are a remarkable person. Your father and I could not have wished for a more remarkable son." As our gazes intertwined, the world around us faded into a hushed silence, and time itself appeared to pause. He remarked gently, "You're quite remarkable as well. Despite the trials you have faced, you remain steadfast and present." The timbre of his voice dipped on that last word, sending a shiver down my spine, and it was not merely the chill of the air outside the steam room that caused it. I parted my lips to respond, yet no words emerged, leaving me to simply nod in silence. As we lounged amidst the soft embrace of plush blankets, cradling warm cups of tea, an unexpected wave of contentment enveloped me. Logan was observing me, his expression unreadable. "You know," he said suddenly, shattering the stillness, "never have I felt a connection to you as profound as I do in this moment." I gazed at him, taken aback by the rawness in his voice. "Logan," I began, yet he continued, his gaze unwavering. "The past few weeks have unfolded as a tapestry of trials and triumphs. Devoting this much time to you feels like I am finally uncovering the essence of who you truly are." Uncertainty clouded my response. There was an undeniable quality to his words and the intensity of his gaze that felt as though it was shifting the very fabric of my reality. The boundaries that once stood stark and clear began to fade away. For the first time, I found myself uncertain about my feelings regarding it. On the following Saturday, the atmosphere surrounding us was thick with an unmistakable tension, a blend of anticipation and an unspoken depth that we both hesitated to name. Logan greeted me at the door with his familiar smile, yet it carried a softness, and his eyes held mine for a moment longer than they typically would. Despite my efforts to persuade myself otherwise, I couldn't ignore the undeniable spark that existed between us, lingering beneath the surface of our newfound closeness. The atmosphere at the bathhouse had shifted. Upon resuming our familiar routine of alternating between the steam room and the plunge pool, I observed a delicate change in the dynamics of our exchanges. Logan appeared more composed, his demeanor reflective. At last, he shattered the tranquility as we settled into the lounge, cradling warm mugs of tea. He spoke with a tone that was both light and inquisitive. "Have you ever indulged in a massage at this place?" I gazed at him from above the edge of my cup, momentarily stunned. "I have not, no." "What prompts your inquiry?" He shrugged, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his lips. "I believe that could be a remarkable idea. You've seemed a bit on edge lately." I arched an eyebrow. While his perspective held some truth, the weight of the divorce and the chaos in our lives lingered heavily. I was utterly astonished by this. It's quite tense, wouldn't you agree? I let out a soft giggle as I commented. You deserve to unwind, he remarked, his tone a blend of humor and sincerity. Permit me to arrange one for you. I dismissed him with a wave. Logan, while it wasn't necessary, continued to press on. His playful demeanor stood in stark contrast to the gravity etched upon his face. Allow me to take care of this for you. Before I had the chance to voice my objections, he was already at the desk, engaging with the receptionist. Upon his return, a triumphant smile graced his lips. You're all set, he said, though. He paused, a sheepish expression crossing his face as he spoke. It's possible that I've arranged one for myself as well. I let out a soft laugh and gave my head a gentle shake. Naturally, you did. The massage was truly exquisite. The therapist's adept hands unraveled each tension in my back and shoulders. As the experience drew to a close, a surprising sense of lightness enveloped me, and my body surrendered completely to relaxation. Logan lingered in the lounge afterward, his face radiating joy. He leaned in, tilting his head as he scrutinized me intently. How do you find yourself feeling today? I noted that I felt as though I might just drift away from this place, eliciting a soft laugh from him. Excellent. The complete aim was encapsulated in that singular point. As the evening wore on, we found ourselves in one of the smaller steam rooms, where Logan reclined beside me, his movements serene and soothing. I gazed at him, observing the tranquility in his demeanor and the calm joy that illuminated his face. Text, I said, shattering the silence that enveloped us. Your assessment was accurate. That was precisely what I required. He smirked, his eyes glinting with mischief. Understand that I truly know what is best for you, Mom. I softly prodded him with my elbow, his words enveloping me in a warmth that was difficult to define. Maybe it's time for me to reciprocate. I was merely jesting. How about I treat you to a massage sometime? He raised an eyebrow, and his smile became gentler. Are you extending an offer? I hesitated, unsure why his question stirred a flutter in my chest. What's stopping us? Equity is equity, wouldn't you agree? Logan propped himself up, his gaze sharpening with intent. There is no obligation to do so, he spoke softly. I simply wished for you to find some peace and rest this evening. I was aware that my reply came with a smile. The warmth of the atmosphere rendered the occasion oddly intimate, yet I desire to. Your support over the past few weeks has meant the world to me. This is the minimum I can offer. Upon returning home, the atmosphere was serene, yet it carried an undercurrent of remarkable intensity. Logan regarded my proposal with earnest consideration. With him lying face down on the couch, his broad back laid bare, I cautiously started to knead the tension from his shoulders, uncertain of how much pressure to apply. His cheerful melody lifted my spirits, instilling a sense of confidence within me. Where did you acquire this knowledge? He inquired, his voice softened and obscured by the couch. I did not, I admitted with a light-hearted chuckle. I am just improvising as I go along. Your improvisation is truly impressive. He let out a gentle breath, his muscles yielding to my caress. There was an innate quality to him. His voice, deep and laced with an almost reverent tone, sent a shiver down my spine. I endeavored to focus on the knots in his back, yet the closeness of the moment rendered it challenging. Does this provide assistance? I inquired softly. He shifted subtly to catch my eye. Indeed, he responded with a soft touch. Proves to be quite beneficial. For a fleeting moment, the room enveloped itself in an eerie silence, broken only by the soft, persistent hum of the heater. Uncertainty gripped me as I faced the unspoken gravity of his gaze. leaving me at a loss for words or response. "Very well," I whispered, at last letting my hands fall away. "That will suffice for this evening." Logan rose from his slumber, his movements deliberate and unhurried as he reached his arms overhead, savoring the gentle stretch of his muscles. "Thank you, Mom," he said with a warm smile. "Is that so?" The air was thick with unspoken tension the following week in the bathhouse, a feeling that lingered between us, though neither of us dared to voice it. It was evident in the way his eyes held mine, in the gentle caress of his hand against my own as he offered me a towel. I reassured myself that it was merely a figment of my imagination. Yet the blaze that ignited within my chest with each of his fleeting glances told a different story. Following our usual routine of steam rooms and plunge pools, we made our way back to the massage lounge. This time, Logan refrained from suggesting a follow-up appointment. He uttered his words with an air of casual indifference, leaning back comfortably in his chair. "I find myself yearning for another one of your massages." His remarks caught me by surprise, even though I tried to mask my reaction. "Oh, truly?" "Indeed," he affirmed, his gaze steady and resolute. "So you are superior, then?" "The writing?" I chuckled, yet the sound seemed to echo too forcefully in the stillness of the room. "Compliments can take you far, Logan." He smiled, his expression gentle. "It's reassuring to hear that." As the night deepened and I nestled in bed, my thoughts drifted back to the evening's unfolding events, and I found myself ensnared in their grasp. A feeling lingered, an unspoken shift in the air between us. The boundaries that once appeared distinct began to fade, casting doubt on my ability to navigate them. There was but a single certainty. Anticipation for the upcoming Saturday swelled within me, more than I was willing to admit. On the following Saturday, I discovered myself in the midst of a run. Delayed. A business email had held me up, prompting me to hurry downstairs, where I found Logan waiting by the front door. My breath hitched as I beheld him grasping a bouquet of roses. "Logan," I responded, my eyes fixed on the bouquet he held. The bouquet featured white lilies and soft pink roses, exuding elegance, modesty, and breathtaking beauty. What could this possibly be? He shrugged, his demeanor tinged with a hint of bashfulness. "I truly believe you have earned them. Mom, your recent efforts have been truly remarkable. I wish to create a thoughtful gesture for you." His words enveloped my heart, and a tightness gripped my throat as I accepted the bouquet. "You really didn't need to go through all this," I remarked. Yet, my smile betrayed the depth of emotion that the gesture stirred within me. I had the desire to. He spoke with a straightforwardness that drew my gaze, his eyes locking onto mine with a sincerity that tightened my chest. "In the face of numerous obstacles, you held steadfast to your authentic self." As my fingertips glided over the velvety petals of the flowers, I found myself grappling with the elusive answer. Language eluded me. None of them seemed adequate. I set the bouquet down on the counter, redirecting my focus back to him. By instinct, I draped my arms over his shoulders in an embrace that felt both instinctive and surprising. "Thank you very much," I whispered into his chest, my voice barely a whisper, almost lost in the air. "This holds significant value." His arms wrapped around me, their grip firm and reassuring, as his warmth surrounded me in a way that was both grounding and safe. We lingered in that moment, silence enveloping us, until he leaned back just enough to press a soft kiss against my cheek. The touch lingered, imbuing us with a pleasant sensation that had little to do with the steam chamber we were about to explore. At any moment, he spoke softly, his voice measured and composed. That evening, as we stepped into the bathhouse side by side, I sensed a delicate shift in the atmosphere surrounding us. A tranquil comprehension lingered in the air, one that had eluded them before. Each glance, each brief brush of his hand against mine carried a weight of deeper meaning. As we navigated through our daily routines, each moment seemed to resonate with a newfound sense of purpose. The steam room enveloped me in a hushed embrace, the atmosphere heavy with unspoken thoughts. Even the water in the plunge pool seemed to hold a warmth, as if it were infused with the remnants of the tension that lingered between us. In the cozy embrace of the lounge, we sat side by side, tea warming our hands, as Logan reached out, his palm brushing gently against mine. A subtle movement sent an involuntary shiver coursing through my body. "Do you comprehend?" He spoke, shattering the silence. Saturdays stand as the pinnacle of my week. I turned my gaze toward him, taken aback by the composed intensity of his words. "Is that so?" I inquired. He inclined his head, his gaze locking onto mine. "Indeed, I recognize that we embarked on this journey to preserve a sense of normalcy following all that has transpired." Yet his gaze drifted away, settling upon his hands. At this moment, they hold great significance for me. His words lingered in the atmosphere, rich with unspoken significance. Uncertain of how to respond to the warmth blossoming in my chest, I simply nodded and murmured softly, "They hold great significance for me." Later that night, just as we were preparing to leave, Logan gently pulled me aside by the door. The bathhouse lay nearly abandoned, shrouded in dim light and elongated shadows that stretched across the walls, creating an intimate atmosphere. "Hey!" he murmured softly, his fingers grazing my arm. "I have been meaning to inquire. How do you fare? Is that so? That individuals?" The question caught me by surprise. "I'm fine," I replied instinctively, even though the phrase felt hollow. "Are you on board?" He fixed his eyes on me, searching deeply. "It's perfectly acceptable if you find yourself not being so. I want you to understand that I will always be here for you." His earnest tone and resolute expression left me in awe. A tightness constricted my throat, leaving me with no choice but to simply nod. In a state of fear, my voice would falter and reveal my trepidation. "Come here," he murmured softly. His voice possessed a soothing quality that nearly shattered my composure. Before I had the chance to reply, he enveloped me in yet another embrace. His arms enveloped me with a tenderness that made my heart swell with emotion. One hand cradled the back of my head, his fingers weaving through my hair as he drew me nearer. I shut my eyes, allowing my cheek to rest gently against his chest, surrendering to the moment. "You're great," he murmured, his voice barely rising above a whisper. "I trust you can appreciate the way my heart raced, and how my mind became a chaotic swirl of emotions that I struggled to untangle." As he finally withdrew his hands, resting them on my shoulders, his gaze captured mine with an intensity that rendered me immobile. Leaning in closer, he pressed another kiss against my cheek. This one hung in the air a bit more than was needed. The touch of his lips ignited a cascade of shivers along my spine. "Good night, Mom," he replied softly, his voice calm and measured. I observed him retreat into the distance, my heart racing as I struggled to comprehend the events that had just unfolded. The lines that once defined our relationship began to blur, shifting in ways that eluded my understanding. As the week unfolded, his gestures lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. As I passed the flowers on the counter, their vibrant petals evoked memories of his words, the warmth of his embrace, and the gentle brush of his kiss against my cheek. It appeared utterly simple, so pure yet undeniably essential. As Saturday approached once more, a blend of exhilaration and apprehension coursed through me. I found myself at a loss, uncertain of what to expect or how to navigate the deepening connection between us. As Logan greeted me at the door, his sweet smile and loving eyes washed over me, easing my fears. "Prepared?" he asked, his tone airy yet imbued with a newfound gravity. I nodded and returned his smile while I picked up my luggage, as was my habit.